Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Ida Murni Jamari from YMS EduTech Learning Hub. Inshallah, we help students to improve by 2 grades in less than 3 months. In this video series of Score A Star for PSLE Math, I'll be sharing with you strategies to solve before-after type of problem-sum questions. This is the second episode to this series. If you have missed out on the first episode, don't worry, I have included the link where you can watch the first episode video. As mentioned in the first episode, I have categorized the before-after type of problem-sum questions into 4 areas. So episode 1, I have covered on one item unchanged. And for this episode, which is episode 2, I will be sharing with you how to solve total unchanged type of questions. In episode 3, we'll look at difference unchanged, and in the last episode of before-after strategies, we will look at all items changed. If you're ready, let's get started. So this is an example of total unchanged type of question. Let's read the question together. John wanted to build a model hotel. In the first week, the number of pieces of the model that were not assembled was 20% more than the number of pieces he had assembled. At the end of the second week, the number of unassembled pieces was 40% of the number of assembled pieces. Given that John assembled 110 pieces by the end of the second week, find the total number of pieces required to build the model hotel. Now let's underline the keywords. John wanted to build a model hotel. In the first week, the number of pieces of the model that were not assembled, 20% more than the number of pieces he had assembled. At the end of the second week, the number of unassembled pieces was 40% the number of assembled pieces. Given that John assembled 110 pieces by end of second week, find the total number of pieces required to build the model hotel. So we're going to solve this question by using unitary method, where we'll be drawing a table, or we'll be having a table with all the information from the question. So just now we have read the question and we have identified the keywords. So there are 2 types of item: assembled pieces, not assembled pieces, total. We also saw first week, second week. So in the first week, the number of pieces of the model that were not assembled was 20% more than the number of pieces he had assembled. So in the first week, there were more pieces that were not assembled as compared to the pieces that were assembled. How much more? 20% more. 20% more. So whenever we are given percentage, it is better for us to change it to fraction, convert it to fraction, because by using fraction, we are dealing with smaller number. And it helps us in calculation to prevent careless mistake. Okay, so 20% when converted to fraction, that will be 20 out of 100. Change to lowest term, that will give us 1 out of 5. Okay, so we have 2 numbers here. We have 1 and we have 5. So which number belongs to which item? Let's read again. In the first week, the number of pieces of the model that were not assembled was 1/5 more than the number of pieces he had assembled. Meaning to say, this 5 units belongs to the assembled, and the number of units that were not assembled will be 1 plus 5, which is 6 units. So we're going to write that down on our table. Not assembled, 6 units. Assembled, 5 units. That gives us a total of 11 units. Moving on, At the end of the second week, the number of unassembled pieces was 40% of the number of assembled pieces. Again, we see a percentage, so we will change it to fraction. So that will be 40 out of 100, change to lowest term, that will give us 2 out of 5. So let's write that down on our question. At the end of the second week, the number of unassembled pieces was 2/5 of the number of assembled pieces. So meaning to say these 2 units belongs to unassembled, these 5 units belongs to assembled. And total is 7 units. Okay, how do I know, again one more time, how do I know that this is total unchanged type of question? Because John wanted to build a model hotel. The number of pieces, just imagine you have bought a box of model hotel or model aeroplane or jigsaw puzzle. The total number of pieces do not change. So same goes with this question. However, when you look at your table, if the total does not change, then why are the number of units different for the first week and the second week? You have to make them to be the same by finding the first common multiple. Okay? So we know that the number of total will be the same. So for the first common multiple of 11 and 7 will be 77 units. Which means for the first week, we had multiplied the total by 7. For the second week, we had multiplied the total by 11. And we have to do the same throughout the row. So since the first week, the total was multiplied by 7, we have to do the same to the number of assembled pieces and not assembled pieces. So multiply by 7, multiply by 7. So that will give us 42 units, 35 units. For the second row, we have multiplied the total by 11. So we need to do the same to the assembled pieces and the not assembled pieces. So multiply by 11, multiply by 11. That will give us 55 units and 22 units. So let's continue on. Given that John assembled 110 pieces by the end of the second week, assembled 110 pieces by the end of the second week, find the total number of pieces. So we need to find how many pieces is 77 units. Okay, so this 55 units here is referring to 110 pieces. Always find one unit first, so that will give us 110 divided by 55. That is 2 pieces. So the question wants us to find the total number of pieces required. Total number of pieces is 77 units. So that will be 77 multiplied by 2, and that will give us 154 pieces. I hope you find this video useful in helping you to solve total unchanged before after type of problem sum question. If you have any comments, any question, feel free to do so below the video. And please share the video. The more we share, the more benefits we will get, inshallah. Together we grow as a successful community. For those of you who are still looking for PSLE math class, we are just 60 over days away, to be exact 69 days away from the math paper. You may do so. You can drop us a message either in our inbox, or you can WhatsApp us at 972064748. We still have very limited slots left for PSLE math on every Saturday morning, 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m. We are located at Icon at Changi, opposite Masjid Darul Aman. in Yunus. So inshallah, I'll see you in the next video where I'll cover the third strategy of before-after type of question. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.